So this is fascinating because I am coming to you live. I haven't done this in a long time, and before when I came to you live, I did it via my book. And this is talking to me and asking me to touch things. Okay, great, got it. I don't know what I'm doing. So here we are. I'm coming to you live, free, very live. Let me start. I want to speak to you about what the Lord is revealing to me via Proverbs, Mishlei, the book of wisdom, the book Mashal. Mishlei, Mashal means to master that which is attempting to master you. I have done over the course of a number of years, I have spent each day, the first, the second, the third, in Mishlei 1, Mishlei 2, in matching the word. And I have posted various times throughout all these years. Right now, I am involved in an intimate, deep study with my Torah teacher, Carmen Schroeder. I've invited some of you to participate in that process. I will initiate and invite that process again with Carmen and me in July. Via what's called Musar, 21 days of Musar, 21 days of discipline and instruction and learning and reproach and reproof, in an effort for us to be better versions of ourselves and in us to rise to what God has called us to be, his agents, his conduits, his vessels, so that we will completely surrender ourselves at the feet of Jesus, and therefore he can pour into us and out through us, and we can light the world, this dark, temporal, finite place. So here I am in Mishlei 20, because today is the 20th. And Carmen, my Torah teacher, has asked us to parse, to go to the Hebrew and break down the words, the original words that God gave, so we can understand what is God really saying to us. Because so many, yes, you are correct, for those of you that just are so confused like I was for 35 years with what the heck is this Bible saying? What does this word of God say to us? It's confusing. And there's all these different translations, and which one is right? So here I am now, 15, 16, 17 years into diving deep into the word of the Lord, diving deep even in the last 6-7 years in Hebrew, in Torah, in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, in the language that God first assigned in Genesis 1, 2, 3, and 4. What was God saying? In that process, what I've discovered is that there is just so much we are missing. So much we are missing for what God told us, that he came so that we can experience life and life in abundance. And so that's why I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you because, folks, because a few years ago, God asked me to write a book called The Happiness Formula. And folks, I had no interest in writing a book. I had no desire in being an author. I write a lot. I don't mind writing. I love writing. I love sharing what I learn. I love research. I love reading. I love sharing that. I share a lot of what I find and discover with you all via my website, via my Facebook pages. But writing a whole book was not on my radar screen, and especially because it's a, my goodness, to say that I, Kasandra, little old me, nobody, has a formula for happiness. I mean, really? But I do, folks. I do, because I have God's message. And the part of the book that is the most controversial is the God quotient part, the part that I trademarked. Our lives are seeped in this world in the academic. So we spend a boatload of our days in what I know, data, facts, and stats, which are so ridiculously basic. In all due respect to all my brilliant Stanford graduates and all you brilliant genius IQ folks, I'm just like you. We are whipping ass smart, and I'm so glad the Lord gave us this high IQ, but it is basic. Because the reality is, just because we have a high IQ That does not preclude everybody else from learning what we know. Data, facts, and stats are basic. Everybody can learn them. Just means we happen to learn them a little faster, which is why we have a, quote, high IQ. IQ has nothing to do with your numbers of a test score. It has everything to do with, are you seeking the data, facts, and stats? Are you going out there and looking for truth? Are you actually, do you see the numbers 1 and 1? And do you see that they equal 2? Do you actually see that? That's just data, facts, and stats. The problem is we get confused because we are emotional creatures. We operate unequivocally, undeniably, pathetically so in our emotions. Our first response to everything we hear and learn is an emotion. We have an emotional reaction. So it takes a lot of work to corral our emotions, to have actually high emotional quotient, high emotional intelligence. Requires that we do a lot of introspection to get clear and separate out the facts from our emotions. And the biggest variable, and the one that society does not discuss and separates from the process, is what we actually believe, because who are we believing? To whom do we turn? To what do we turn for truths? Those truths that transcend human abilities to understand. It's those leaps of faith. And so that's what this is about. It's about your God quotient. So I'm going to talk you through what my God is revealing to me, for you. Because yes, I want you to have the highest level of happiness possible. I wrote this book in 2019, didn't know what the hell I was doing with it all, took massive leaps of faith. And it has been a glorious blessing. And I feel like finally it has crystallized, at least for now, in my ability to help you. And my desire is that the words of my mouth be edifying, encouraging, that they speak to your spirit, the spirit within you that God gave to you when he created you in your mother's womb. And so let's look at Proverbs 20. If you have a Bible, if you own one, if you have a smart device, a phone, turn to Mishlei 20. I have both. I read from the Complete Jewish Bible. It's one interpretation. It has some Jewish words. I also printed out the English Standard Version, ESV, and so I will be speaking from these two versions. So here's what I'm looking at. There is so much. I love the fact that Proverbs 20:20, maybe this is partly why the Spirit has compelled me to speak this way, this freely, no makeup, my hair is not done. I haven't taken a shower. I mean, I've walked the dogs. It's still in my morning routine. I'm still in my morning devotion with the Lord. And probably the reason why he wants me to start here is because Proverbs 21 starts with, wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. I have to laugh because I don't drink alcohol. I learned a long time ago that which can alter your mind is not beneficial and good for me or you. It does not allow me to receive the wisdom of the Lord. I personally have to not drink. I personally have to not take drugs. I personally have to be very careful with that which alters my mind, even behaviors and activities which alter my mind and lead me astray. So this starts with that verse. That's not what was speaking to me mostly. What was speaking to me was Proverbs 23, which says, it starts with, it is an honor for a man to keep aloof from strife. It is an honor for a person to avoid quarrels. But every fool, person who is stupid, who is brutish, who is basic, who is a dullard, who is actually arrogant, will be quarreling. They will be giving into their anger. They will be exploding in anger. The person who So it is an honor for someone to avoid quarrels. And because I am trained in the school of academic debate, there is an art to debate. There is an art, a dignity, class to the exchange of differing ideas. You do not grow without exchange of differing ideas and viewpoints. We absolutely, Kasandra, have no clue how to do this well. And this it goes on. So I love how Proverbs 25 says, the purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. I think that follows on this, because really, what motivates you to engage in the discussion? What really is your driver for having this discussion with somebody? Do you even know what's going on for you, that you feel the need to verbally discuss what you are with somebody, to post the words that you are? What is going on for you? Do you even know? And here is my, I think, going to be the ultimate point of all of this when I finally get to the very last statement I'm going to make, was you don't know, because we, in our finite fallibility, have lost the art of consulting wise counsel. We do not go to the correct source. We don't have a God quotient. We don't have a God that we turn to. And the gods that we do turn to usually are ourselves. So I'm going to go get the answers from the mind that is confusing. Or we turn to people, talk show hosts, whose job it is to gossip. So let's go on. We turn to people who, when you really examine their life, they do not live a life of honor and dignity. They are not walking in the excellence of their eldership. They're seeking to do that which lovely young bravado of youth does, but they're not embracing all the glory that comes from the learning of being an elder. We need elders. This is what this is about. I am coming to you today because, holy smokes, I'm an elder. I am an elder by the gray in my hair, by the wrinkles of my face, by the bruises of my body. Folks, and I embrace it, and I am thankful the Lord has allowed me to live to level 5. I'm walking in level 5 now, and I look forward to level 6 and level 7 and level 8 and level 9, if I so get to live that long. Lord, I thank you for the new levels of learning, and I am here to beseech those of you who are in higher levels, level 5, level 6, level 7, to embrace the wisdom the Lord has given you, the walk the Lord has given you, the uniqueness of your experiences, to learn from those so that you can be edifying and encouraging to people who are younger than you, who are coming up behind you. We are in need of elders, elder women to teach the younger women, elder men to teach the men. There are 2 genders, and there's a reason. So, the purpose of man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Those who seek wise counsel, and there's only a handful that you can turn to. It is not the masses. So think about it. Right on the heels of that, it says in Mishlei 26, many a man proclaims his own steadfast love, but a faithful man who can find. I just love how the Lord even says, really? Really? You think you're that great? So I have had people comment how oftentimes when I'm delivering messages, I will sit there and say, but I don't do this real well. I don't do this real well. And I think it bothers them that I am saying, here's how to walk in excellence, even though I don't do it. But here's the deal, folks. I do it better than I did. Absolutely, hands down, unequivocally. Hands down, unequivocally, undeniably, I am a much better version of Kasandra than I was, Lord willing, yesterday. But absolutely, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years, 20 years ago, I am not I am not that person. And unfortunately, I do still have behaviors and attitudes and speech that is not becoming of the Lord. So I really want to oftentimes shout how excellent and brilliant and perfect I am, because I want to be. I want to be a better version of myself, and I am. Praise be to God, I am. But I have to be very careful to not stop, to not believe, to ever think that that improvement, though that betterment, the increase of excellence and perfection is of Kasandra. It is always of God. It is always of God. And I've had people not like that I, Kasandra, won't take credit, but I'm telling you, I have too much to show me that it's just not of me. It's just not of me. And I am thankful the Lord allows it to operate in and through me. I am so thankful. Oh, because I get to live. I get to live in the abundance of the life that he allows me to express. I am a beneficiary of what some of you all believe is of Kasandra. I'm a beneficiary. That's all you're seeing. But I know who it's from. I know. So let me go on. The Lord even says in his own language, really, you think it's of you, really? And so the next one, Mishlei 29. The Lord asks us, so you really think you can say, oh, I have a pure heart. I am clean from my sin. I'm so righteous and pure. I've done it. Again, you're welcome to believe that. You're welcome to think that you yourself are able to cleanse you of that. I was not able to do that. I reached a point where I recognized I am not able to walk in the perfection, in the consistency of the words I speak. I fail in that. I bumble and I stumble. No matter how righteous and excellent I want to believe I am, I can't quite get there. That's because we can't. I mean, that, holy smokes, it was kind of, whew. It was good to know in the Lord's truth that I can never get perfect. It was good to know that, like, oh, thank you. It relieved some of the pressure. And it was good to know that I'm not expected to. So here we are in Mishlei, 29, and we finish with this sort of learning at 11. Even a child makes himself known by his acts, by whether his conduct is pure and right. And so to think about it, our actions, we want to have the world judge us, determine who we are by our internal intentions. We want to ask the world to absolve us of the ways we act that don't match our internal intentions. We want to say, yeah, but I meant well. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So we want the world to judge us by what we're thinking in our head and our hearts, even when our external actions don't deliver that. And yet, man alive, we absolutely condemn and beat people up for their actions, right? And this is brought to my attention when we hold people to things they have said and done in their past. When we critique our politicians, when we critique our mothers and fathers, when we critique our children and our friends for their bad behaviors in their past. And then we continue to say, yeah, but, remember when you said this, remember when you did this, remember when you acted like a POS, a piece of shinola. So we love to slander. We love to gossip. It tells us in Mishlei 20:19, whoever goes about slandering Whoever goes about speaking lashon hara, evil speak, even when it's true, data, facts, and stats about what someone did or said, but we go about and we keep saying, yeah, but look, they did this, look, they did this, look, they did this. So the Lord tells us, don't associate with those people. Do not be a friend. Do not seek wise counsel. By no means. Those people who continue to drudge up the evil of someone in the past, and God forbid it be actual untruths. So there's, let me use an example. When I was in my 20s, I had a friend who got pregnant out. She was single. She got pregnant from some dude who she, whatever. I told her in our 20s, she was always just struggling, constantly struggling. And I told her, I said, you need to abort that baby. You need to kill that baby. You need to murder. Kill is different than murder. I told her, you need to murder that baby. And I thought I was right. I really thought I was doing a service to her and to the world. Because indeed, I won't even get into it. I was in my 20s then. So fast forward to when I'm in my 40s. We're about 20 years later. Her daughter is now, 22 years old or something, 19 years old. And I had already chosen not to be her friend because she was a habitual evil speak person. She was a babbler. She was a gossiper. But yet she loved to throw the Lord's truth at me all the time. She loved to use the Lord's name to throw it at me about why I was a horrible person. And so I'd already kind of cut her off, but she came back into my life. I let her back in, as the Lord calls me to. And she said, you're an evil person because you told me to murder my child back 20 years ago. And what's interesting is I didn't remember that I had done that. I mean, I did, but I didn't. It's kind of one of those, oh, yeah. And what I said to her was, that was wrong. That was wrong. I was wrong. I absolutely, unequivocally do not believe that way, think that way. I confessed to her that was evil speak. I confessed to her that was evil thinking, that I was not led by the Lord. At that time, I was led by my own finite, fallible, evil ways of thinking, the ways of this world, the legal systems of the world, what the world allows you, just because it's legal and the world tells you and the masses tell you it's good, doesn't mean it is. And so I let her know that was incorrect. And she, interestingly enough, didn't know what to do with that kind of apology because I let her know I was wrong. And what's she going to go from there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm wrong. Fast forward again now, here I am in my 40s, late 40s, walking steadfastly in the Lord. I have another young woman come to me to say that she's pregnant, again, with some random dude. And I am in the Lord's word. I'm a preaching, sold out sister in Christ. And here I go and tell her, and I confess, and I'm embarrassed to admit this. I said, abort. Murder your child. Someone who's walking steadfastly in the Lord said that. And right now, even as I say it, my body, wildly enough, I'm having a sick moment to my stomach because I'm confessing in public. I am really sorry. I apologize to her. I apologize to those around who heard me say that to her. But folks, we are still finite. We are still fallible. We still walk in the lies of this world, even when we are seeped in the truth of the Lord. So think about the line that follows. If one curses his father or his mother, his lamp will be put out in utter darkness. If you curse, if you kalal, if you make light, if you take lightly, if you see as trivial and as insignificant to the point of contempt, to the point of to call despicable, to call into question, to say no to that which is of the Lord. If you do that, if you put disdain for your makers, your mother and father, those who created you, if you see lightly, if you have contempt and actually speak life or death, if you speak the death of the enemy to the Lord's children, if you speak death to the Lord's children, then your light, Miss Kasandra, you yourself will become obscure. You will be put into utter darkness and obscurity. You won't matter. Your light will be snuffed out, and nothing of you will be of value to anybody. That's what the Lord says to those of us who speak, who write in a manner that is not becoming of the Lord's truth. And it happens, folks, because we get lost in this world, because we don't seek wise counsel, because those of us who are called to be elders do not walk into the truth of the Lord and do not claim the lessons that we have had to battle through, because we think that we know what the hell we're doing. And the Lord says in Mishlei 20:24, a man's steps are from the Lord. How can you understand your walk? How do you think you know where the hell you're going when I, God, made you for my purposes? Stop speaking to the world as if you know the answer. Turn to my word, study it, dive into it, learn it, and speak it. Do not speak what you think you know. God forbid, in my power, don't speak about how you feel, because your emotions, I don't feel good about that, Lord. I want to be right. Man, do we want to be right. The Lord is not making fun of us. I'm not. You all know, I've told you, I am a personal excellence drill sergeant. The Lord has empowered me as one of his soldiers. He calls me to armor up. He calls all of us to, but I am clear that I am to armor up in the Lord's outfit and every day fight that battle with and for you. I am called to speak out against the enemy. I am called to exorcise the demons that want to twist themselves around your heart and your mind. And I am not going to let it happen for you or for me. Not anymore. I'm not going to condescend to this world and the deception of this world that makes it legal for us to chop off our body parts, that makes it legal and even seem righteous for us to tell a young baby, you can be whoever you want, little innocent person. You can do whatever feels good, because what little kids want to do, they want to jump off bridges and fly, people. They think they can fly because they're beautiful and innocent. And there's a truth in that you can walk on water, sweet little innocent person. But I am not going to let you walk out to the middle of the ocean. No, because there's some laws of gravity that come into play. There is science that comes into play. You can't just walk out in the middle of the ocean and not drown. We as elders are called to provide truth to those who are not yet ready for the higher learning. And that doesn't stop just because we're 20 years old and 30 years old and 40 years old. Those of you who are 50 and 60 and 70 and 80, you may not yet have walked into your adulthood. You may not have walked yet into the glory of your gray hair. And the Lord is calling you to. We are desperate for you to. So those of you who know the truth of the Lord, those of you who want to be of use and helpful to people, those of you God, my sweet friend, Miss Debbie Bebekitis, man, I don't even know who the hell you are, but I know that we went to high school together. So many of you that I went to high school together. I partied with you. I drank. I smoked dope. I had sex. I did all the things that we did because that's what you do in high school. And some of y'all still think it's the right way to be. You have not walked into your calling as an elder. And so your physical health is paying the price. I understand that. I know that. And so, yes, Debbie, in the name of the Lord Yeshua, in the name of Adonai Eloheinu Yeshua HaMashiach, I pray for your health. The Lord will heal you, can heal you, is able to heal you. And the Lord has already healed you, Miss Debbie. That does not mean possibly that you won't still have to do with the consequences of the ways that we have scientifically broken down our cellular structures. We do that, Debbie. We do that by the foods that we intake, by the drugs and the alcohol that we consume, by the needles that we put on our arm, by the ways that we engage in our sexual activity that therefore invite virus. People, we have broken down our bodies, and there are cellular structures and realities to how those breakdowns occur, the cancers that become part of our bodies, the HIVs, the hepatitis, that continue to plague us, the smoking that we've done that have broken down our linings of our lungs. There are realities to those things that play out. The Lord will, however, heal those if it's part of his plan to take away the consequence of that black lung, to take away the consequence of that HIV and that hepatitis. The Lord can take the cancers away. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it in my body. I've seen him do it in other people's bodies, because that's the way the Lord plays out, the way he takes away the consequences of the sin in the finite here and now. And yet the Lord tells us that he may not take away the thorn in our side. He may not take away the thorn in our side. And we will have to walk it out. We will have to walk it out. And as I have had to walk out some of the thorns that the Lord has not taken away, and they hurt. And as I'm thinking about the thorns that the Lord has not taken away for some of you, I am so sorry that it causes you fear. I am so sorry that it disrupts your learning. I know that it makes it difficult to believe in the blessings of the Lord. I know. I've walked them and they hurt and they're confusing. But stay in the Lord. Stay in the truth. Do not turn to the masses. I look at the words of Mishlei 20. I look at, he says in Mishlei 20:25, it is a snare. It is a trap for us to believe that we know what is holy in our finite, wasting away bodies. For us to say that we know what is righteous, we have to reflect. We have to give wise counsel to what the Lord is saying. We have to be very careful about what comes out of our mouth. Folks, we speak life or death. That's all we speak. So be very careful with what is coming out of your mouth and how you speak to the world about the world, because that which you put out there is covering your body as well. And if you have a habit of speaking of the depravity of humanity, if you have a habit of listening to the gossip box, i.e. television, 100% designed for gossip and Lashon Hara, stop watching the gossip box. Stop watching the news. The entire gossip box entertainment industry movies are designed to break you down. There is nothing truthful in it. Be very careful who you listen to. Even this, as you're listening to me, be very careful to hear the Lord. Be very careful to dive in the Lord. It's available to us. Truth is available to us. Brothers and sisters, whether you know it or not, you are my brother and sister. The Lord made you to be my brother and sister. And I so badly want you to walk into eternity with me. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done today. I want you to experience the glory of the Lord today, in the here and now, even amidst all this pain, even amidst all these trials. Mishlei 20:29 says, the glory of young men, the glory of youth. The power of youth is in your strength. Being young, it's nice. It's helpful. We recuperate, we fall down and get a bruise and it goes away. You get older though, we don't recover as quickly, right? The gray hairs come, the wrinkles come, the pain comes. All that which we did not do in our 20s and 30s, or all that which we did in our 20s and 30s, shows up in our 40s and 50s, and by our 60s or 70s, it is kicking our butt. It is showing itself. Folks, you can't always reverse the consequence of the ball you set in motion in your 20s and 30s insofar as the physical breakdown, because the reality is there's a physical breakdown just by science. Follow the science. We are designed to fall apart, right? We're designed to kind of whittle away and back to the dust and ashes of the world. We're decaying, we're dying in our bodies. And yet it's kind of an exponential curve. It's like as we're dying in our bodies, Lord willing, that's why the enemy is so powerful, because we should be increasing in our spirits, in our ruach, in our holiness. We should, as our bodies are decaying, so we should be improving in our spiritual walk. That's what we're called to do, but we get so trapped in the superficiality of the broken down body and the gray hairs and the wrinkles and the fat and the aching bones. And we think this is so important, and it distracts us, but it is not what is important. So I have no idea what you've taken away from this. I just know that I'm exhausted and I've been crying throughout this. And I don't know what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. I just know that some of the Lord wants me to encourage you. He wants me to, there's one of you at least. Debbie's listening apparently, and she's letting me know that she knows God, that she knows that she is walking in victory because of the Lord, even with the physical limitations that have been placed on her body. We all have physical limitations, people. So I pray this has been edifying, encouraging. I hope that the ways that I yelled at you, that you felt, the Lord calls us to be angry, but do not sin. And I am working on that part. I am doing my part. I am executing, what I can know and my feelings so that I can walk in his truth. This is the happiness formula. And folks, I can't tell you the outrageous gift of walking in the abundance of the Lord. It's incredible. And it's possible in the here and now. And I want to be part of helping you get there. However I can help you. So, I'm tired now. I love you. I thank you for listening. May your day be full of the power and the presence and the preeminence of the prevailing King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Yahweh, Yehovah, Yeshua, Adonai Eloheinu Yeshua HaMashiach. I pray your perfect provision, your perfect protection, your perfect personal love, embrace, that your children feel it today, Lord, that these words have allowed that to be the reality. I thank you for making that mine. We love you, Lord. Call me. Talk to me. 469-682-8280. That's how you reach me. KVM at KassandraVitacca.com. Go to my website. Listen to my videos. Go to my Facebook page. Become a friend. I know in the power and the protection of the Lord that he's already taken away that which ails you, that which has blocked you from the sunlight of the Spirit. I know it. I know it. Whether you know it or not, you'll know it one day. The Lord is available to you. I pray that you seek him with all the desperation of only the dying know. In his name, Baruch Hashem. Shalom.